Right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, listen to that. Fairly half-hearted. Can we just try that again? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You see, when you make the effort, you can do it. So, listen. I've been asked tonight. I don't know if you're expecting comedy first, but that's what you're gonna get. You've got about 15 minutes of me, and then you've got about 20 minutes of a guy called Nik Page. Is that all right with everybody? I mean, it doesn't matter if it isn't, because that's what's happening. Just a couple of things I need to make you aware of. The burger van is outside, but they are going to close at 9 o'clock. So if you want a burger, make sure you've got it before 9 o'clock. And the other thing just need to make you aware of is that the bar closes, well, the last orders are at 11:15. Is that right? But just by looking at the average age in here, if any of you make it past 9:30, I've got to be honest, I think that's going to be absolutely fantastic. So, welcome to Churchdown Community Centre. And when Steve phoned me and he said, Nick, I'm putting a gig on for my birthday and also to raise funds, and I'd like my two favourite comedians to be there. I said, oh Steve, I'm delighted you've included me in that. He said, I haven't, but the one I wanted wasn't available. And I knew you'd be cheap, which I thought was a little bit harsh. But I've got to be honest, you look like the nicest audience I've seen probably all day. Because doing comedy, you don't know what you're going to get. I went to Swansea a couple of weeks ago, about a 4-hour round trip to Swansea. And I think the MC have been watching too much of Live at the Apollo. Because as he announced me on, he went, ladies and gentlemen, stamp your feet, clap your hands, cheer, holler, shake your jewelry as we welcome to the stage the brilliant, the fantastic Nik Hill. Well, there was 4 people in the audience, and like 3 in the front row. There was a grandmother, a grandson, and a mother, and the grandson was going in the army, so both the females either end were distraught. I thought, well, I'm going to leave those alone. And there was a guy sat behind them, and I said, oh, what's your name, mate? He said, Roger Moore, and I thought, brilliant, the comedy gods are here. And then he went on to say, but I've got mental health issues, so I thought, I've got to leave you alone. But I didn't. A lot of acts will come on, and if you watch like Live at the Apollo, a lot of comedy, a lot of acts will come on and say, oh, it's really nice to be here. I've got to be honest, I've stopped doing that. And I'll let you into a little trade secret. When an act says that, most of the time we don't actually mean it. But I stopped doing it because I did a gig a couple of months ago. Little village, just outside Cirencester. And the MC announced, and he said, ladies and gentlemen, next on is Nik Hill from Gloucester. And as he said Gloucester, there was an audible gasp in the room. And I could see people were texting home, asking, make sure the doors are locked and your car's safe. And I went and I said, hi, my name's Nik Hill, nice to be here in Ashton Keynes. And straight away, this woman at the back stood up and said, oh, excuse me, young man. I know it's spelled Keynes, K-E-Y-N-E-S. But here in the village, we prefer to pronounce it Keynes. I hope you don't mind. No, that's absolutely fine. Does make me sound like a bit of a pretentious cant. That's spelled C-A-N-T, but where I come from, we prefer to pronounce it. And to be fair to her, it was pretty good advice, because the following week I was doing a gig in Leclardo. Yeah, I can see there's people at the back trying to work out where that is. It's Letchleaves. Oh! Who said, oh, Letchleaves? I am from Gloucester born and bred. Are we all from Gloucester? Oh, listen to that. Right, let's just do an analysis. Who's from Gloucester by raise a hand? Let's just have a look. Oh, quite a few rough people. Who's from that place we don't really like talking about, beginning with C? Cheltenham, come on. Bastards. Stroud, we got any Strouders in? Oh, we have got some Strouders in. Foresters. Look at that, there's a surprise. One lady from, where are you from? It's not the forest, is it really? Oh, we'll come on to that. I am from Gloucester, born and bred in Gloucester. We've got a lot to be proud of. We've got a rugby team. We've got the docks that we used as a film set. We've got the cathedral that was used for the Harry Potter films. But we can't compete with Puzzlewood in the Forest of Dean that was used for that Star Wars theme. I mean, that film, that was brilliant. And I don't know if you know this, but when they made that latest Star Wars film, they wanted to recreate that famous scene in the first Star Wars film, where our heroes wandered into that really strange cantina bar, where there was people in there with 8 fingers on one hand, 2 heads, and to be fair, all they had to do, go into any bar in Colford on a Saturday night. I love the forest, and there was a report in the forest a couple of years back about a man from Cinderford who'd been accused of having sexual intercourse with a wild boar whilst under the influence of alcohol. And I thought, how much alcohol would a wild boar need to have sex with a man from Cinderford? And I don't know if you know this, but a few years ago, beavers were reintroduced to the Forest of Dean at Lower Lidbrook because they've got a really bad problem with flooding. And the Forestry Commission were really proud of this. And then somebody said, well, hang on a minute, you do realise that beavers are really, really voracious, and if they get out into the wider forest, how the hell are you going to contain them and stop them gnawing down all the trees? And the guy from the Forestry Commission genuinely said, yeah, we thought about that, we're going to build a wooden fence to keep them in. That's it. One of the things I'm really proud about from Gloucester, and I've never done it, right, and I'm 67 this year, and I am going to do it this year. I am going to do the cheese roll, okay? Normally that gets a vote of sympathy, but sod ya. I've been practicing, I've been rolling the baby bell down my drive, that's working really well. And those of you from Gloucester will probably know that the cheese roll was banned for health and safety reasons. And when it was reintroduced a few years ago, BBC Southwest came to film it. And one of the winners of one of the races was a 15-year-old girl from Cockworth called Kylie. And they interviewed her, and they said, Kylie, you've entered the race, you've won, what would you like to say? And Kylie said, well, yeah, I did enter the race, and I did win, and I'm very surprised. And they said, why are you surprised, Kylie? And at that moment, what I wanted Kylie to say was something really profound, like, wow, look at me. I left school when I was 13. Everybody wrote me off, my teachers, my friends, my family. I've already got 6 kids by 10 different dads. Nobody gave me a chance. And I thought, this is your opportunity to shine, Kylie. And I trained really, really hard for this race. And I got to the top of that hill, and I looked down, and all I was focused on was that cheese and getting to the bottom. And when the cheese was let go, I ran after it. I could have broken my neck, arms, legs, anything. I didn't care. I just wanted to prove to somebody that I was worth it. That's what I wanted to come out of Kylie's mouth. What actually came out of her mouth to the question, why were you surprised, was simply this: I don't even like cheese. So, I've been doing stand-up about, I don't know, 20 years, and I probably had my best year in 2023. I went to the Leicester Comedy Festival and I won an award. It was the Silver Stand-Up, which is basically a competition aimed at the over 55s. That was it. There was no upper age limit. I've got to be honest, backstage, it was like God's waiting room for comedians. One act, just before he was going to go on, he was slumped in a chair, his eyes were closed, and somebody said, do you think we should wake him? No, leave it, we'll increase our chances. And I got through to the final, and I won. And I phoned my wife, I said, you'll never guess, after 4 years of trying, I've only gone and won. And she's like, oh, that's fantastic. What have you won? Because obviously she is from Mumbai. I said, I've won a trophy. She's like, anything else? I said, no, it's just a trophy. I'm back home a couple of hours later and I'm showing her this trophy. She said, well, that's very nice, but I'll ask you again, have you won anything else? I said, no, I've told you, it's Just this. She said, right, I've been on the website. Oh, shit, have you? What about the £500 cash prize for the winner they're advertising? Well, I was gutted, right, because I had that lined up for something special. And she said, what have I told you, author on marriage? I don't know, there's been so many things it's hard to remember. She said, never lie. And she's right, you shouldn't lie, right? But she went away last April for a week with her friend Chris on a cruise. And she phoned me in the middle of the week on the Wednesday. You all right? Yeah, fine, thanks. Are you missing me? I remember what she said, never lie. So I just said, no, absolutely not. She started clutching at straws. She said, I bet the dog's missing me. He wasn't. He was loving life. He was sleeping on my bed, feeding from the table. We were down the pub every night. We went and got tattoos. We had the best week of our lives, I've got to be honest. She's not, I don't mind talking about it because she's not here tonight. She's not a happy woman generally. Like, I'll give you a couple of examples. Like, it was her birthday, okay? Today. Got her a spa day. Apparently that was wrong. She hates grocery shopping. We did dry January this year. We still drank, just no sex. And we celebrated Valentine's Day, and I did the romantic thing. I phoned the florist, ordered some flowers, and the florist said, would you like a card? I said, yes, please. So what do you want on the card? I said, I'll just put to Lynn, all my love, Nick. And then she said, would you like a kiss on the bottom? I went, absolutely brilliant, I can be there in 10 minutes. She went, no, I meant on the bottom of the card. I said, yeah, I know, I'm a comedian, I was just making a joke. And quick as a flash, she came back with, I bet you don't get many gigs, which I thought was a little bit harsh. I've got to be honest, that joke normally goes down far better when I did that, so you're letting yourselves down quite badly. There was a report in the Citizen, not in the Citizen, there was a report on BBC News, I think it was only last week, and it was raised, somebody in Cheltenham, about a man, and they'd been married like 30 years, a man was convicted of manslaughter of his wife. And I thought, how do you get to that stage in your relationship when it drives you to that? Well, let me tell you, I retired in 2023. I've spent 2 years literally 24/7 with my wife. I can fully understand how it drives somebody to get to that. Because we've just got to a stage now, I call it an irritating stage, right? And to be fair, it's nothing major. It's a breathing. And if we're out in the car and we'll come up to a T-junction and I want to turn right and I'll say, is it safe to go? And she'll go, yep. And as I'm pulling out, as long as you're quick. Well, that's... I've realised over the last 2 years that she's missed a vocation in musical theatre. Because I've discovered she can make a song and dance about absolutely anything at all. And what I didn't realise when I retired, and just looking around, have we got other retired people in the room? Yeah. Yes, there's one, just one happy retiree. All the rest have blown their pensions already. But for the youngsters amongst you, I didn't realise that it's obligatory for at least 4 days out of 7 days in a week to spend time at the local garden centre. We go to Highfields down at Whitminster. I've got a loyalty card, and we went there last August on my birthday, and I gave them the loyalty card, but she went, oh, congratulations. I said, sorry? She went, congratulations, it's your birthday, isn't it? That's good. I said, is it? She said, yeah. I said, well, I don't think so. I said, because the average life expectancy for a male in the UK is 81. So at the minute, I might have 15 years at best. What's good about it? She said, well, now, you qualify for one of our senior citizens discount cards. And I'm thinking, just shoot me now. I took the card. I said, what benefits do I get with it? She said, well, you get 40% off a roast lunch. So I'm walking back to my wife, and I'm looking at this, and I'm looking at the terms on the back. And you do get 40% off a roast lunch at Highfields. Every Monday served between 9:15 and 11:30 a.m. And I thought, who the hell eats a roast lunch every Monday between 9:15 and 11:30 a.m. Well, let me tell you, since last August, God, you're hard work. No, you're not. You're lovely. You're lovely, because you weren't really expecting this. This isn't a proper gig. So we've now got another act for you. Right? He's a really good friend of mine. I know he's one of Steve's favourites. He was on Britain's Got Talent some years back. I can't remember when. I think it was 2019. I think you're going to love him. And if you could, on the count of three, just give a nice round of applause as we welcome to the stage Nik Page. Is that okay? So on the count of three, we start with this table, start applauding. Yeah, do your best. Bring it all the way around the room, all the way to the back, people at the bar, applaud all the way back round here. As we welcome the lovely Nik Page.
Oh, that was probably too much.